All right, guys, we just spent some time hands-on with the S25 Edge, but Samsung is targeting a specific type of customer. It may not be you, but let's get into it.
Namaste, we're DHRME. Diversity has remained mostly everything for the Samsung lineup. What struck me during the presentation they just gave is they usually, all brands give you a bunch of marketing spiel about stuff. And here they said, there was one slide that really stood out to me, and it really encapsulates the S25 Edge very clearly. It said thinner, lighter, powerful. Not powerfuler, like you said, but thinner, lighter, powerful. And let's go on those three kind of axes to explore what this device really is and if it's for you.
So let's get through a couple of facts. Thinner, it is thinner because it is 5.8 millimeters thick, and that is without the camera bump. Camera bump is protrusive.
Bumpy.
Yeah. It's bumpy. It'd be bumpy. It's also...
But they also said one thing in the thinner. It's the thinnest Galaxy S phone ever.
That's right.
And we have a Z Flip 4 here, which you can see some B-roll of.
Yeah.
It's about that size, so it's not the thinnest Samsung phone ever.
No,
but it is.
And this is the Flip 4.
Yes.
So the newer flips are
probably
probably thinner. So yeah, and so yes, slimmer in that way, and you do notice it in the hand, in the B-roll shots that you see.
Yeah.
But also it is lighter. It is 163 grams. We'll put up on screen a little bit of a comparison to the other phones out there.
Yeah.
But
all titanium as well.
All titanium. And that is interesting because the S25, the normal series, let's say, the normal and the plus, they don't have titanium. The Ultra is the only one with titanium.
Yeah.
Still Corning Gorilla Glass ceramic 2 on the front, still glass on the back, same as the S25, nothing different there. And 3 colors?
Yeah, silver.
Yep. Jet black.
Jet black and jet blue.
And icy blue.
Icy blue, yeah.
Whatever, it's blue.
And they're very like these kind of faded colors.
Mellow,
which, not my thing, but fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. Colors.
Whatever. The colors. You're going to put a case on it. And speaking of, same case lineup apparently as the S25. They're going to be thinner.
Yeah. We aren't going to talk about all the AI stuff because that hasn't changed.
No.
Right? I still like some of Samsung's AI stuff. The generative eraser and fill and stuff was pretty awesome. So all that hopefully you'll still get on this. We have pre-production samples here, so we could not demo the software too much, although you see a bit of shots here. It's on an older version of One UI, so there's not much we can demo, not camera samples or anything.
Yeah, so let's just go through a couple of things that are the same as the S25. Like we said, the case lineup, the colors, the processor is the same.
Snapdragon 8 Elite.
Yep. The glass on the front and the back is the same. The display is the same. The fingerprint scanner is the same, which you tested. It was fine.
Exactly the same,
It's still IP68 dust and water resistant.
That's nice because they've thinned it down but not lost the IP rating. So that's
correct, yeah. And the AI stuff. So they really didn't want to emphasize too much on the AI because nothing's changed. It's the same. So yeah, not very diverse on a lot of fronts.
Yeah.
But the camera.
The camera, yeah. So it's a bit weird what they said, and I have to kind of say this is their opinion. They said it is a 200 megapixel wide and a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and of course that means they've gotten rid of the telephoto, the lens I use most in the S25 Ultra, but then again that's a compromise you're making before you even buy the phone. They will have digital zoom, of course, but that's digital zoom, so you know what that looks like. So we have to really wait on the review for that, so stay subscribed to the channel for that. But
we will be testing the camera in depth, so that's going to come up. Battery life. Battery, ooh, that was probably the hottest item that we had in our minds, at least. Yes. While coming to this event and checking out the S25 Edge.
Yeah, that's what everybody
like hyped. Okay, they're gonna do it.
And disappointing again for me personally. No silicon carbon.
No.
And Samsung says that's because it's not tested enough. And I understand Samsung's risk averseness there. Because of the Note fiasco they have had in the past. So
I understand it,
but also
I don't want to accept it.
No, I don't either. So you're getting a 3900 milliamp hour battery, which is, they say all day battery life, of course, and they say we've optimized it, of course.
And just to put that into perspective with the rest of the S25 lineup, right? You're getting 4000 milliampere on the S25, the normal version. So that's already 100 milliampere more, right, than the Edge. And you're getting 4900 milliampere on the S25 Plus. And it's a 6.7-inch screen, the Edge. And that's the same as the Plus. So you're getting a whole 1000 milliampere per hour. Less on the Edge compared to the Plus model.
Yeah.
Insane.
Now, I haven't tested the Plus recently.
Yeah.
I hear the battery life is really good. So if you're getting maybe 1.5 or 1 3/4 days on a Plus, then this is an all-day phone.
Yeah.
And they said it's an all-day battery life. So I think that is kind of pushing against the limits of what all day is. So this is definitely not for you if you're an ultra phone user and you need that crazy screen on-time numbers. Maybe you should go for a minimal phone, but that's another story. But yeah, it's going to be touch and go if you're a heavy user.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're a light user, it works. Maybe.
And again, the risk aversion came back in the charging department.
Oh.
Still 25 watt wired charging, fast charging. 2025, you cannot say that's fast charging anymore. And there is wireless charging, again, 15 watts.
Yeah, and you get the wireless reverse charging as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the charging situation.
I think one thing from the design that I'm a bit curious about is because it's so thin and the camera bump is so big, whether it's going to feel top heavy. Now, I mean, we've used it for a little bit. I could feel a little bit, but it was okay. It's not as bad as, for example, the iPhone 15 Pro that we use.
Yeah.
That one feels pretty top heavy.
Right.
So yeah, balance-wise, it's interesting. Buttons-wise, there's only the same layout as you see on the Ultra.
Exactly same as the Ultra.
You see that here as well. Yeah, just power and volume. And a SIM card slot. That's kind of it. A couple of maybe practical things, 7 years of support.
Same.
Standard.
Yeah.
There's going to be so it's going to have 12 gigs of RAM, and there's going to be two variants, a 256 gigabyte storage model and a 512. So the 256 will start at 1249 euros. Euros, and the 512 at 1369.
We're not even going to bother with dollar prices. Somebody else will tell that.
Put it up on screen if it's there. Otherwise, you can Google it. So they're kind of positioning this between the S25 Plus and the S25 Ultra. Now, there was a question about who is this for?
Yeah, and I think this is. I don't know if you should use the words they used, but it's for, maybe...
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Younger female users, so not children, but like adults, who they like what the S25 Ultra has to offer, but feel it's too blocky and big. This is kind of what they would choose, is what they said. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not sure that...
Yeah, and
tracks,
you know, I mean, if does it track? Yeah, exactly, because there's no S Pen.
No.
So if you're a buyer of the S or someone interested in the S25 Ultra, you're not getting that.
No.
You're getting no telephoto, like you said. That's a lens that you use a lot, and you're a heavy Ultra user.
Yeah, and you don't get a beautiful anti-reflective screen.
Yes.
From the Ultra.
Oh, it was a pain to shoot this phone.
Yeah, and you don't get that crazy battery life. No. So, yeah, you are making
a lot of compromise.
So I would say, Samsung wants you to think of this as a sexier Ultra. I think you should think of this as a sexier S25.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
Right?
I agree. That's basically it.
That's basically it.
Yeah. But I get it, because they want to charge that premium.
Yeah, and it is expensive. It's more expensive than the Plus. So
in terms of lineup, even though it's between the Plus and the Ultra, they say it's going to be positioned a bit more alongside of the Flip.
Yeah.
Because the Flip apparently, lifestyle, fashion, design, because that's what appeals to a lot of the target demographic that they're going after.
And you know what? I can kind of see people buying this. I can see people going into the store who aren't nerds like you guys are, like us.
Yep.
And they say, oh, this phone looks thin. I want this one.
Yeah.
They're not going to look at the heat dissipation or whatever. It's just, so I can totally see. So this is not one for the nerds. That could be the title of the video. Not for the nerds. This is one for the lifestyle,
absolutely,
that kind of people.
Because if you look at it, to me, it deviates a lot from the design elements that we've seen over the generations of the S series.
Yeah.
It does stand out. Yes. And so people want novelty, but they probably like what Samsung has to offer and they want to stick to Android. You get this, you stand out.
Yeah. This could be for your, fashion-conscious cousin who's not into the nerdy tech space.
Yeah.
It's that kind of phone. Yeah.
Availability starts delivering on May 30th. There's going to be some kind of promotion with storage and stuff like that.
Which Samsung always does.
They always do.
Double the storage or whatever.
Yeah.
But we are not here to sell their phones for them.
Okay, so that's the S25 Edge for now. We're going to get our hands on a sample, review sample. We're going to test the hell out of it. So stay subscribed for that.
And leave any questions in the comments because we've had hands-on time. If we could answer that, we would.
Yeah.
If we can't answer it now, maybe when we actually get a review sample.
Thanks to our patrons and YouTube members for supporting the channel financially,
Beautiful.
especially these tested folks.
Yeah. And these beautiful Fuckman tier members, Paul, our Rats Panda, and Rachel. Thank you so much.
You've been
Edging it.
and we've been
DHRME.
doing